So I told my wife I'd like to see if I can make it to the IPMS Nationals this year. And she looked me dead in the eyes and go, "Why? You don't PMS." Welcome to Max's Models. I'm Max. Well, hello everybody, and got a fair amount done yesterday despite the heat. So first things here in the office, got started on the Eduard F4, and it starts with the cockpit. So I lined up a bunch of the resin parts and everything, took a look at them. I'll be getting to them later. But you do start off with a photo etch right away, which of course means CA glue. And needless to say, with my big fingers, even using the tools, the parts always wanted to stick to the tweezers, the toothpick, or my finger more than the actual part. But, we soldiered through. And it all looked good, and then you take a photo and zoom it in, and it's crooked. Of course, at 1/48 scale, the world will never know. But anywho, first thing you have to do is trim off some of the actual plastic instrument panel to make room for the photo etch parts, and then file down a bunch of others. And this is for the back seat. For the front seat, you actually build the entire front panel out of photo etch, and it's got these tiny little rings and bezels that go over the instruments. And I didn't think I'd get them all in there, but with the exception of one or two microscopic parts that you simply cannot see, and frankly don't look that good, they're pretty much, I got everything in there, managed to bend it. You have to bend some of these parts into a square box, which, with my big fingers and bad eyes, it's like, oh yeah, that's going to be easy. Couldn't believe I actually did it. They do crease a lot of the parts in back to make it easy to bend them. And I have to give Eduard credit. As photo etch goes, they've got some of the best I've used. A lot of it's pre-colored, and the creases are in place. It's actually surprisingly easy to bend. And it has very fine hair-sized parts that hold it on, so you don't have the big clips. You don't need the big snips or anything. It's really some fine photo etch. I'm very, very pleased with it. My inability to get things on straight's another story, but one thing I did was I used thick, fairly quick drying CA glue, and I'm thinking next time use something with a longer set time and then use an accelerator, because I'd almost have something in place when things would bond. Great. And eventually I did wind up breaking the forward instrument panel. I was having to flex the parts and one of them snapped off, CA'd it back on, no problem. But the panel up close, you can see things are a little crooked, but from a distance, which is what you'll be seeing it at 1/48 scale, especially if the canopies are closed or even if they're open, you won't really be able to tell that well. So, I still got to paint it up, and I'm, putting some black in there to make, rough up the bottom where their feet would be and everything. But I don't want a military plane to look too pristine, and not to worry, mission accomplished on that one. But the parts all so far fit very well, although I've done way more photo etch than I've done actual styrene. And it's a great kit so far. I'm not knocking, it's just a gazillion parts is all. And at this point, I'm wanting to do this more for the can I do it, because it comes with two sets of instrument panels, which look identical. They may be for different models. I don't really see any differences in them. And to be honest, you could use those and the world would never know. But I've got the photo etch, so I'm going to try and use it. And those flat panels on the sides go on real easy, and they really do look good. Saves you a lot of work. Kind of a cheat. But anyway, so I got the cockpit about halfway done, and I figure, okay, my eyes are straining and everything. It's time to take a break. Also went out to the Tarbis and got some work done out there. I didn't really get to the B-25. Eve, that poor little air conditioner, it's working as hard as it can. I'm sitting right in front of it, but it's still just in this kind of summertime heat. That's why I've moved so many projects inside. It just can't handle it. But the Skyhawk made a lot of progress on that, but I didn't have any decals for it, so I figured I'll just go to my stash, my stores, and for that scale, I didn't have a lot to work with that was any good. I rehabbed some old decals, and they did go on and lay down, but then they started curling, and I think one reason they're curling, I think the curling may be effective, the restore fluid contracting or something, but I even tried using white glue to hold them in place, actually canopy glue. And in a couple of cases it worked. A couple of them didn't need it. I put some Solvacet on, they dissolved, came out looking great. They broke up a little bit, but wear and tear, a little corner missing here or there adds a little patina to it. But some of them, they went on fine, and then they just started curling no matter how much I tried to I even took a couple of them off, put down a nice little film of white canopy glue, laid them down, and they still curled up. And like if I could find a way to hold them in place until the stuff hardens, but if you do that, of course, it's going to adhere to whatever your medium is. So I just, you know what, these are old nasty decals. I'm just going to trash them, clean up the model, and start over. I didn't have any correct sized decals that had the red bar, but it did have a lot of good World War II stuff. So I just put those on the sides and made found some red stripe and cut it up and put it in there and filled it in. It looks fine. I mean, it's an old 1958 Revell S kit. We're not going for anything scale modeler here. We're just having a good time. And I did have enough Navy decals. I just kind of created my own squadron markings for it and gave it its numbers. It's a fictitious airplane, but again, I'm doing it like I would have done, when I was 12 or something, because, well, I wasn't even born in 58, but still, I'm just trying to keep it fun, make it what you want it to be. And it came out, it's not done yet, but I've got it up on the stand already. And I got to admit, some of the gaps are just massive where the wings went on the fuselage, just the way it is. Again, 1958. I'm not being harsh on it. And I did putty a lot of stuff up and clean it, sand it, and you realize, man, it takes a lot of work to, really try and bring this thing to speed. And I'm like, why am I trying to bring a 1958 kit up to 1990s or 2000 standards? Enjoy it for what it is. So I'm like, fine, you know what? I'm just gonna make it like this, and if the fact that it's not perfect is going to make me love it more. And it's a Navy jet, so I got my insurance billed for the, when I'm done, I'll have my insurance billed for our next group build. But at some point, if I decide, I always have the option of going out online, buying some 1/48 scale A4 decals, and taking these off or repainting it, and it's not like it's irreversible. Once I put these decals on, it's doomed, forever doomed. They're not tattoos, but be honest, I kind of like it. It's just got an honesty to it. It's like, my junkyard A4. And I'm getting a kick out of it. And that's really the important thing, is that you're just having a good time. And speaking of Navy jets, also finished off the P6M SeaMaster and another Bondo Queen. But I found out that this is a kit of the prototype aircraft. You can tell by the small windows and the twin guns in the back. So I decided the prototype, the one they lost, was the one that was solid blue, except for the engine exhausts. It was just solid blue. So, and that's what the numbers and everything are for. So fine, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And it's, once you get it all painted up and clear coated, I put a lot of clear on it so the decals would adhere. There is one thing I should caution you on. I don't know why, but where it says, SeaMaster and has the XP6M, the markings that go into the cockpit, for some reason, the white part of that marking really wants to fold over. It did it twice on both sides. It's just, so be very careful when you lay that decal. Once I figured that out, got it cleaned up and back on the paper, slid it on very carefully, but it will try to flop over on you. And I guess it's top heavy decal, but I got all the decals on it, and then another clear coat. Took a couple of quick shots. I'm going to save the beautiful studio photos. By the way, on this, I remember I said I was going to paint the windows. I went ahead and painted over. I decided instead to use this sort of aluminum reflective tape that I've got. It's left over from the Jupiter 2. Stuff sticks really good. Be careful, because once you stick it on, you're going to have fun. Yeah, I got one out of position. Not 100% level. I might have done better to lay one piece and then trim out the posts, but I will put them on separately. But it looks okay, because I just watched this video by Mike Machadi did a few years ago on some studio models, which included the SeaMaster and the trade winds and some others. I'm going to put a link to it below. It is an outstanding video. Every model builder should watch this. These are factory models, that were made by the manufacturer or by contractors. Most of them out of solid wood. They're just fantastic. A lot of cool planes. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this. I'm not going to try and make this like a detailed model the way we normally do. I'm going to make this like something from the 50s or 60s that a commander would have on his desk. Just basically a blue airplane with the markings. Kind of like, looks sort of like a topping or a precision models. And I finally got a precision models thanks to Jim Keeshan. And I love it. I always wanted one. I know they're not hyper detailed, but that's what I like about them. They're deliberately designed not to have anything on them that'll break. And I just thought that that's the way I'm going to go with this. And I've got it up there with my Convair Tradewind. So the Martin Seamaster and Convair Tradewind, both of which he covers, by the way, in that video. So that was yesterday, and now it's today, and I'm probably sweltering in the heat out there slaving away. Or I'm, and as I'm sitting here speaking, I still have CA glue stuck to my finger and some paint, and I don't know how. My wife heard me scream, and she was like, "Are you okay?" I went, "Fine." I was trying to put that very first piece on, and it was, you get the little fine metal tweezers and everything, and you're trying to hold everything in place, and it won't stay on, it won't adjust, and it flips, and it's great. And when it goes down, it lands glue side down on a piece of paper, and of course, immediately it adheres. And I want having to scrape all that off, like, ah! There's still a blue cloud hovering out over the house somewhere, foul language. But that's the joy of model building, eh? All right, guys, that's what I got for right now. Well, you take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you later. As always, model on.